Picture this. You're sitting outside. It's 89 degrees out. You're resting deep in the shade, and you are drinking plenty of water. It sounds uncomfortable, but manageable. Except under the right conditions, sitting exactly like that can actually kill you. Scientists call this the limit of compensability, as extreme humid heat waves, or wet bulb events. While they were historically rare, rising global temperatures mean these saturated heat waves are becoming a frequent threat, making them a critical metric for our survival. We often think of a hot day as a test of willpower or discomfort, but in these saturated environments, heat becomes a hard physical limit that no amount of endurance or hydration can overcome. Lethal factor for vulnerable populations today. Most of the heat waves we hear about are dry heat events, driven by high-pressure systems that trap hot air near the surface. Humid heat waves operate on a different set of physics. Hotter air has a higher capacity to hold moisture. As global air temperatures trend upward, any region with a nearby moisture source will see a proportional spike in heavy atmospheric humidity. This is dangerous because humans survive extreme temperatures almost entirely through evaporative cooling. We sweat, and as that water vaporizes into the air, it pulls heat away from our core and dissipates it into the surrounding environment. But if the ambient air is already packed full of moisture, the sweat on your skin has nowhere to go. It cannot evaporate. The biological cooling engine that kept our ancestors alive stalls out. To measure when this cooling fails, scientists use wet bulb temperature, which combines heat and humidity using a simple tool, a thermometer wrapped in a wet sock. As water evaporates off the fabric, it cools the thermometer, dropping the reading just like sweat cools your body. This chart shows the problem. As ambient humidity on the x-axis nears total saturation, the efficiency of evaporative cooling on the y-axis steeply drops off. The air is too full to absorb more moisture. When mapped out, researchers found exactly when our bodies surrender. This highlighted zone marks the human limit of compensability, occurring at a wet bulb temperature of just 19 to 32 degrees Celsius. 19 degrees Celsius sounds low, but a 19-degree wet bulb reading feels like 46 degrees Celsius or 115 degrees Fahrenheit in a dry environment. At that level, the heat strain quickly becomes lethal, especially for older adults. The wet bulb metric proves that technically lower thermometer readings become a death sentence when the air is saturated. At 2 degrees Celsius of warming, a benchmark we could hit in a couple decades, these unlivable thresholds will hit 35% of Earth's landmass. These danger zones cover the most crowded places on the planet, including India, eastern China, and the eastern US. When a region crosses this line, your survival instincts stop working. Sitting in deep shade or drinking gallons of water will do nothing to bring down your core body temperature. Once the ambient air reaches that saturation point, natural biological survival is impossible. We are forced into a mandatory reliance on artificial cooling. That leaves air conditioning as a mandatory life support system for a wet bulb future. But AC is expensive, and it remains financially out of reach for millions of the world's most vulnerable people. Even for those who have it, there is a thermodynamic catch. Air conditioners don't eliminate heat, they move it. Cooling the indoors means pumping all that hot air into the streets, worsening the heat for everyone trapped outside. This mass reliance also strains our infrastructure. Our power grids weren't designed for every unit to run at once, making catastrophic blackouts more likely during the hottest part of the year. The numbers reveal a circular problem. Global AC units are expected to nearly triple by 2050, requiring a massive surge in energy that currently comes mostly from burning fossil fuels. The harder we push our machines to save us from immediate heat, the more carbon we emit to ensure the planet gets even hotter. Breaking the carbon part of this loop requires an immediate transition to clean energy. If we power our survival machines with renewables, our immediate need for cooling stops fueling long-term warming. To address the local heat island effect, we need passive urban upgrades, deploying white and green roofs, building resilient community cooling centers, and expanding tree coverage can lower outdoor temperatures without exhausting more heat into the streets. Our biology is facing physical tests we haven't encountered in human history. But we aren't powerless. We still have the technology to engineer our way out.